every time we use our voices to get us from point A to point B, it strengthens our voice. Every time we use our voice to help us work through an issue, to comfort our inner children, to laugh, to sing, to do anything positive, it strengthens our voice. So when you start to badmouth yourself, self-deprecate, whatever it is, catch yourself, because you're doing that out loud more than you're doing the positive things out loud, I bet. We're taught that self-deprecation is super cute and it's funny. It's not. We don't need to be doing that. It's not powerful. It doesn't alchemize pain. It keeps the pain there in a more insidious way. I want you to know that you are not too much. Your voice is not too loud. You do not need to be quiet. Okay? I want to hear your voice. We need your voice. Hi. Hello. This is a big day. It's a big day because it is my first video podcast episode. I wanted to do video podcasts since I started this, but I knew it was going to get me in my head too much, and I knew I just needed to kind of dive in to podcasting, so I didn't do it. And anyway, I still need to just dive in because, as you can see, I didn't even clean for you guys. I didn't even tidy up. So that shows you my mindset. I'm like, just go, just do it. Don't even think about it too much. So anyway, today we are going to be talking about something that we're going to be talking about using your voice. Okay. And this is really interesting too, because I just started getting into astrology. Okay. I just started getting into astrology, and which is a whole other topic that I'm sure I'll dive into when I feel like I can. But, I just started getting into astrology. So I'm starting to look at all of these transits, what's happening in the sky, how's it affecting us here. And I know that on Thursday, today's Tuesday, on Thursday, Mercury is stationing retrograde, right? That's what the astrologers say. But Mercury is going to be retrograde in Leo. So it's asking us to kind of look at the way that we express our voice. How do we communicate our voice? And I just love this because, usually it's like, oh, is Mercury in retrograde again? Because shit's fucking up. I don't know, nothing's going right, blah, blah, blah. And I've always even felt that way too. You jokingly text your friends like, is Mercury in retrograde? Like, what's going on? But what I've seen recently, since I've been diving into astrology on a deeper level, is that astrologers don't talk about it that way, which is so cool. It's more so an invitation of, okay, when something is in retrograde, it's just asking you to look at that theme in a different way, from a different perspective. And so with Mercury retrograde and Leo, it's asking us, like I was saying, are you communicating your voice the way that you want to communicate your voice fully? Like, let's look at that. And so the timing of this retrograde is very interesting because last week I saw my vocal coach, Bruce Extit, for the first time in, I think, literally 5 years, because my oldest son is 5. And I remember my last lesson I did over Zoom in our back house and it was COVID, and my son was little. He was a little baby, and that was the last lesson I had with him. And I was seeing him once a week, sometimes twice a week, because I was taking a musical performance class with him. And I love to sing. And for a while I did have an intention to do like a one-woman show, and I still believe that I'll do that eventually. Now doesn't feel like the time, but I'll do it eventually. I know I will. So anyway, I was with him for many months and years, whatever. And I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I saw him last week for a lesson. And it was so amazing. It was so amazing. And it really got me thinking about my voice just in general. Because I love to sing and I'm constantly singing. But I feel that before I met Bruce, it was a part of me that I wasn't fully letting shine, right? It was just a part of me that I knew was there and existed, but I wasn't even very nice to that part of myself, because I had a very interesting background with my voice where when I was little, I'm sure always singing. And my mom took me I was about 10 or 11 years old. My mom took me to an audition for a traveling choir. I don't even know how this got on our radar, okay? My dad used to play football. My mom loved sports. So we were always a sports house. That's what we did. And I'm the oldest. And so I knew they wanted me to play sports. Somehow I got this audition for a traveling choir. I went and I auditioned, and I remember getting in. They said that they accepted me into the program or whatever. And I remember my mom sitting with me and saying, "Oh, you got in, but you can't do both. You can't play basketball and sing at the same time." And I remember feeling so torn because, I was so young, but I knew that I had to play basketball because I just knew I wouldn't, that's what they wanted, And so I said, "Oh, I'll play basketball. It's fine." And that was that. And so I really believe from that moment forward, it was almost as if a part of me was like, I'm not allowed to sing. I'm not allowed to express myself in this way. I'm just not allowed to. And so I didn't really. And only my really close friends knew I could sing. Even then, I didn't even really do it. Even now, not now, really, really current, but I would say barely in the last couple of years have I been able to say with confidence, I'm a singer, because I sing every single day, right? And then people want to say, "What have you been in? What have you made? Da, da, da." It's no. I'm just constantly singing. And if someone said you can't sing ever again, I would die, kind of thing. And so, meeting Bruce 5 years ago or however many years ago now, oh my God, not even 5 years ago. Oh, wow, maybe 8 years ago or something. I don't know. Whenever I met Bruce, it changed my life. I just felt so much more connected to my voice, right? And so fast forward, I see him again last week, and I realize, oh my gosh, he helped me get a part of my voice back. And I had been thinking about writing something talking about how we need to use our voice out loud, and I'm a huge advocate, of course, for writing and journaling because I'm a writer and I journal constantly. But there's something so different about using your voice out loud as an instrument, as a tool, right? Where it's immediately affecting change in your reality and the world around you and in the world within you, right? In your body. And I feel like as in the spiritual space, right? When we're talking about the Akashic records and just raising your vibration and all of these things, your voice is so important. And it is important. I just feel like it's more important than we even realize. And this is something, back ancient Egypt, if you think about, or anywhere where they would do toning or they would use their voice in a specific way. They knew it could affect change. They knew it could heal the sounds and the certain vibrations you can emit using your voice, the frequencies and all these tones you can hit, all this stuff, right? It's actually changing matter. And I'm over here, I'm like, I'm not a scientist, but you know what I mean? It's powerful. Okay. It's very powerful. And so I am just, and I also had a client come in a couple of weeks ago. And at the very end of our session, she was bombarded with all this information. And you could see that it was kind of like, oh my gosh, there's a lot here. I know there's going to be a lot for her to sift through and read through and things like that in the summary. And at the end, she's like, okay, so how do I get more in touch with my guides and my higher self? Like, how do I even do that? And I had been thinking about this voice again, the voice being used out loud. And the guidance that came through again was to speak out loud to them, right? Just speak out loud. And so I told her sometimes what I do, and I find this really helpful, is if I'm overthinking anything, if I'm trying to work through something, or if I just feel like something bears extra weight when I'm meditating or whatever. I don't really like to use the word meditating, but basically when I'm just working through something, however that looks, I like to talk out loud. And if I start to feel a little bit weird about it, I will start a voice note as if I'm talking to somebody. It always helps me get out of my head and into the moment. It's like when you're using your voice, there's so much less chatter in your mind that you can pay attention to. And so it's really helpful to kind of snap you out of something. Even if it's just like, okay. I do that a lot too, right? Where it's just like, okay, no, stop. Just to literally snap you out of it. That helps me. And I think that could help you. And, but yeah, the guidance that came through for her specifically was to speak out loud. And so I feel so called to also invite all of us to continue to speak out loud. And I know I hear this a lot too, where it's like, I can't stand the sound of my own voice, right? If you were to record something or, and sometimes I think it's just people feel so weird talking to themselves out loud, but it's like weird. What, who told you it was weird? Why is it weird? What's weird about it? Like, if you really think about it, what's weird about it? I can't think of anything weird about it. You are just a human being having an experience. You're walking around doing stuff all day. Why not talk to things? Talk to yourself. Why not just talk in general? It's like, if you believe in God, God's always listening. Why don't you just chat? Your higher self is always with you. Just have a chat. You can talk to anything. Every time I leave my office, I say, thank you so much, room. I love you. I'm talking to stuff, and it's helpful. It feels so freeing as well. And so I feel like when I imagine somebody that never talks out loud to themselves, and I'm not saying that this is true all the time, but the image that I'm getting currently is like, imagine somebody that doesn't see anyone all day, or, they're very insular. So they're really not using their voice at all. They're not listening to music. They're not singing. They're not using their voice at all. It feels really tight. It just feels really constricted and tight. Almost like you're just holding your breath and you're holding everything up into your throat. That's what it feels and like kind of looks like to me. Whereas if you were to kind of release things out through your voice, through your mouth, release it. And it's just that kind of relaxation that happens. It's just, okay, things can melt away. You can start to move things intentionally out of your body, right? And then you can call things in intentionally that you want to receive. And our voice is just such a huge part of this. And of course, thinking it is a fantastic place to start. Your thoughts obviously matter, and your thoughts matter. But there's so much more you could do with them. And writing them, of course, like I said, is a great thing, you know, any type of writing, because you're getting it out of your body, you're getting it more into the physical. But using your voice specifically, the vibration, everything coming out of your mouth is just affecting everything around you. It's crazy, right? So if it feels really, really almost painful or scary to speak out loud, there's obviously something there, right? There's obviously something that can be looked at, that we can get a little curious about, where it's like, okay, why actually is it so difficult for me to just talk out loud? You know, even in like a lot of times, I feel like the car is a really safe place to start this practice. I don't know why, but everything feels safer in the car, right? It's like you're just in there by yourself, even though you see everyone around you, but you are very insulated and protected. And I don't know, things just feel a little bit freer in the car, right? So maybe start there, or wherever you feel the freest to use your voice, start there. And you can start small. And it's like, even if you just start to narrate certain things throughout your day, almost like if you're a mother and you're narrating to a child, to a baby, right? That they're like, talk to your baby about everything. They're soaking it up like a sponge. And it's so true, they are. And so now you're about to do that for yourself. You know, you're going to soak it up like a sponge. So everything that you're saying out loud, imagine that you're soaking it up like a sponge. Your body is hearing it, right? So if you're having all these thoughts that are negative or a little bit, they're just not helpful for you, imagine now you're switching it and you're able to speak out loud, and you're saying all these positive, kind, loving, fun thoughts and ideas out loud. Then your body starts to soak those up. And then your reality starts to change, right? So even if it's just silly stuff that you're saying out loud, silly, it doesn't have to be anything profound, right? Because a lot of times the silly stuff ends up being profound, because it's the simple things, the simple, joyful things in life that are so magical and magnificent, and all of these things that they really end up changing you. So don't get in your head about it. It's really just, oh my gosh, I can't even think of anything, but truly silly, right? You know what I mean? Truly be silly. And so I don't want to belabor this, because I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but and of course, if you want more, like if you want to dive in on this, please send me a message, comment on this podcast, whatever. And I would love to go further into this. But even if it's just, like you can try talking yourself through a moment, right? Talking yourself through a moment as if you are speaking to someone else, you know, observe the observer kind of thing, where you're just, okay, it's okay. We're having a hard time right now, but everything is fine. Actually, everything's not burning to the ground. Everything is just fine, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like, just speak to yourself like you're speaking to a child. Because a lot of times we are speaking to children. We're speaking to our inner children who need that love, and they need that to be seen in that way, right? And so, I invite you to get curious about the area where you feel like, okay, I'd really like to shift something here. And then start talking out loud about it, right? It's like, okay, I want to, my first thought is, I want to start moving my body, right, in the morning. It's like, I really, really want to incorporate this into my mornings. And I just haven't done it, even though I keep thinking about it, and I keep writing about it. And so now, okay, for myself, let's practice this. Then I am going to start talking to myself about it. Because what are the thoughts that I'm having about this? The thoughts that I'm having about this are that I am not going to have enough time to work, to build my business. And that every moment that I'm alone is precious. Like I need to use it, quote, properly. Right. But the thing is, yes, stick with me. You're working with me, working through something with me right now. But the thing is, yes, okay. And actually, it was so funny because I wrote this down too. It's like, I'm going to start doing more with less. That's what I want to do. That's my goal in terms of work. And my work is, okay, how do I make my systems work better for myself and my clients? How can I show up fully for my clients? How can I build a community online? Which, I want, this is my goal. These are my goals. And so I'm like constantly, okay, looking, researching, trying out things, doing whatever. And I'm trying to pack all these things in. And it's like, okay, that thing where whatever the time frame is you're given to do something, that's the time frame you'll do it in. That's what this is, right? It's like, I want to do more with less time. So if I'm thinking of it in that respect, then I can start to add in movement. And anyway, it's like, you need to move, right? Like, oh, come on, Renee. We know this. We know this. I thrive when I'm moving. I'm an athlete at heart and my body is athletic. It needs to move. Okay, yes. So we're working through this, right? And wow, yeah, I'm working through this audibly with you guys. So you get to see it in real time. Okay. So let's see. That's it. That's really it. Plan your mornings. Give yourself a finite amount of time for work and whatever else is extra. But I just have to show up for myself, really, is all it is. It's like, imagine, it's like the glass half full. No, it's not like that at all. I'm really bad with analogies like that. I'm not, or what is it? Phrases? Oh God. I need to go. I have to get out of here. She's melting, everybody. She is melting. Okay. So anyway. Okay, what are we doing here? Renee is going to start exercising in the morning, okay? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy, okay? It doesn't have to be crazy. No. Because that's where I start to get crazy. It's like, okay, then you're going to do it for an hour. And it's going to be this and that and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, let's start small. Let's start with 20, 25 minutes. Easy peasy, okay? We're going to do something chill. A little mat, Pilates, whatever. Yeah, fine, whatever. You saw me work through it. Did I work through it? Let's hope so. I will report back. Anyway, God, this turned rambly. Anyway, the main point of this journey that we went on together, thank you for being here. The main point is to use your voice to help you move through things. Okay, let's use our voices to as catalysts, right? To catalyze. That's what I was going to say, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm using that correctly. But let's use them to propel us forward, to propel us through, to get us through things. And every time we use our voices to get us from point A to point B, it strengthens our voice. Right? Every time we use our voice to help us work through an issue, to comfort our inner children, to laugh, to sing, to do anything positive, it strengthens our voice. It just does. So when you start to badmouth yourself, self-deprecate, whatever it is, catch yourself, because you're doing that out loud more than you're doing the positive things out loud. I bet. because that's what we're taught. That is what we are taught. We're taught that self-deprecation is super cute and it's funny and it's all of these things. It's not. We don't need to be doing that. It's not powerful. It doesn't alchemize pain. You know, it keeps the pain there in a more insidious way, right? It's not helpful. So now we're getting curious and we're using our voices in a more resonant way with how we want to actually feel and move throughout the world, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And I would love to hear what you're working through right now. You clearly heard one of the things I'm trying to work through. And sometimes it's so messy like that, right? Like I'm glad I guess I'm glad that I had that I stumbled through that here just so you could see it's it's not always clean where it's like, okay, I'm talking about this and I'm going here and I'm going here. It's not a clear story. We're working through things. It's like some crazy, all these lines on a board getting erased, written again. It's crazy. Okay. And that's okay. That's what it is. This life is not, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Everything's crazy. So anyway, I want you to know that you are not too much. Your voice is not too loud. You do not need to be quiet. Okay. I want to hear your voice. We need your voice. I would love to hear your voice and I want to see what you are doing. I just want to see what you guys are doing. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you for being here for my first video podcast episode. Whatever. It's imperfect and I'm doing it anyway. I'm showing up. So good job to me and good job to you for showing up wherever you're showing up. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.